Hey, real estate mega moms. This is Randi, Randi Mendez Parra, and I am a coach here with Real Estate Mega Moms. Today, Jessica is out celebrating her husband Cody's birthday, so I am going to fill in for the show, and you'll have to forgive me because I have never went live on her little awesome tech stuff that she has here. So I don't actually know how to see if I'm live, but I'm hoping that I'm doing this right. So if somebody wants to give me like a thumbs up and let me know that I am live, that would be awesome. That would be super fantastic. Hopefully it will show up here. It says in broadcast, so I'm assuming I'm live. Oh, you know what? I'm so smart that I could probably just, I got a notification. Check that out. It says that I'm live. So, so on that note, I'm live and I'm super excited today. So something I kind of wanted to talk about today is healthy leads. And so I was thinking about it. Something that Real Estate Mega Moms is very, very passionate about. We're very passionate about making sure that as moms, we maintain a healthy balance. So we want you to dominate. Thank you so much for letting me know I'm good. So we want you to dominate in real estate. We want you to kick butt and to define your success and to be able to go after that and amplify it. But at the same token, we want you to feel totally whole as a mom. We don't want you to feel like you're winning in one area and losing in the other. And so we want you to be, amazing moms, amazing wives, just every role that you have. And so kind of today, what I want to talk about is how to do that. How do we build a business that is healthy? And I really think that something it boils down to is leads. So for me, the first two times that I was on, when I was on a mega team that was doing 30 million a year. And then when I first built my team, it was high cold leads. And the thing about that is you have to be instantaneous to respond because it's speed to lead, right? And that's who wins. And then the thing that is just reality about those leads is they often come with heartbreak and disappointment and confusion because you'll work your butt off for them. I mean, how many of you have ever completely worked your butt off for a lead and you've been doing almost everything they ask of you and you're writing offers for them in the last minute or doing this or that, and you have them jump ship and like they just go with somebody else or they just don't give you any loyalty. So if you've experienced that before, that just really comes from what we're going to talk about today, which is good, bad, and ugly leads. And so we definitely can work with ugly leads. And so it's good to know what ugly leads are. It's good to know what good leads are. And it's good, very, very important to know what bad leads are, because at the end of the day, you don't want to work with bad leads. Now, something I do want to say, and I definitely want to share, is keep in mind that everybody's different. So some people have very thick skin and some people love the chase. So their bad lead may not be your bad lead, but I would love to hear. I see that we've got quite a few people, kind of tuned in now. So I would love I can see your comments. What would be your definition of a good lead? So if you were thinking, this is a good lead, what would that look like? Anybody? Let's see. Okay, so I don't see anybody comment yet. So really a good lead to me would probably be, the first thing that would come to mind is somebody that is committed and excited. So a good lead would be somebody, maybe a past client, I would definitely say a highly referred client. So the way that I have been coached, and something that has worked hugely for me in defining my leads, is to make sure response to your calls, right? So responsive. So definitely, Margot, I have responsive as well. And I think that we should probably even get a little bit deeper into that, Margot. As far as responsive, have an outline of what responsive looks like. Is that an 8-hour turnaround to you? Is that a 4-hour turnaround to you? Again, that's kind of individual, but I think it's important that when you outline your good leads, that you know what it looks like. And then, somebody who responds, pre-qualified, absolutely, Chris. So yes, and loyal. And so the way that I think that we do that is knowing what an A lead is. So for me, an A lead comes highly referred. They do business my way, and they're ready, able, and qualified. Okay. The beautiful thing about this, I'll give you an example. I had a client that was referred to me last week, and I called them and I did a buyer consult, and we did it over the phone. And they said, we're coming up this weekend. We're going to arrive on, thank you so much. I agree. Definitely serious. So they're going to come up on Saturday, but they won't get here till late. So they wanted to tour either Sunday or Monday. And then they wanted to make a decision from there. For me, Sundays are, if you guys know me, I do silent Sundays. And so I didn't even have to explore. And I won't lie to you. There was part of me that for a second was like, especially their price point, they're pushing $1 million. they're highly referred. And so for a second, I almost thought about saying, okay, we can do a Sunday tour. And then I just remembered, no, these guys are an A lead and they trust me and they're coming highly referred and they're willing to work my way. So I set them up for Monday. We went out yesterday. We had an awesome day. We found the killer house and it's good. So I think that is where it's super important that we know. So highly referred, does business your way, and they're qualified, okay? So a B lead, I think, would be missing one of these things. So maybe they come, I get a lot of B leads. I get a lot. So they're highly referred and they'll do business my way, but they're not quite ready. So so when we start talking about good, bad, and ugly, so ugly would be, bad would be maybe a low credit score, I think. So you can incubate that. A bad lead, you can incubate it, you can help them to get ready. And I think we can all work with bad leads if we outline what that definition is. They may be unrealistic. A bad lead may be unrealistic, but if they're willing to sit down with us and they're willing to let us explain the process to them and give them realistic expectations, then we can definitely eventually get them over to being a good lead. Now, ugly leads are the ones that we just really need to stay away from. So ugly leads, yes. She said, are you live already? So ugly leads, I think, are unresponsive, disloyal. They could be unqualified, but I think it really comes down to, are they willing to commit? And then what about energy suckers? So what about energy suckers that they just don't have any? Do you guys ever get the texts or the emails or the messages that they're very demanding on like at 8 o'clock at night? So those are the ones we want to be very aware of. So what I would love to hear is, what do you guys think are ugly leads? What are some ugly leads to you? Seeing if we have any here. My mom is trying to log in. She's struggling a little. She's not tech savvy. So I think another ugly lead is somebody who believes in working with multiple agents. Have you guys ever heard, well, I'm working with multiple agents because I want to make sure I don't miss out on a house, and so they won't commit. So non-committed, I believe, is definitely ugly. So that's something I would challenge each of you guys to do this week, is maybe sit down and write out your definition of good, bad, and ugly, okay? So now I think a B lead is, like I said, missing one of those. Now a C lead is missing about two of them. So maybe a C lead is ready and able to do business. So maybe you got them from Zillow or Redfin or Truly or whatever it is, and they're ready and able to go, but they didn't come highly referred and they don't do business your way. I think that's where you also need to get very comfortable. So let's see, what did you say? Let's see if can I click on this? I sure should have maybe okay, let's see how. There we go. Yay, I found your comment, Joe. Thank you so much. Those that know the process and are playing agents against each other. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Oh, look at this, guys. I just found out I found my win for the day. I just found out how to show your guys's your comments. I feel so cool. Now it looks like we got all kinds of action going on here. I completely agree. So on that note, where do we get these leads? That is where I think the big question is, because I know as a team leader, sometimes I feel the pressure even more so to just fill our agents with more leads. I feel like I only gave them 5 leads this week, they need more leads. They need more leads. And at the end of the day, more leads do solve all problems. I mean, it's kind of a numbers game. The more leads you have, you'll fix your operational problems, you'll fix your financial problems. But you won't maintain that balance. You won't maintain it. So I think as team leads, we have to get very comfortable. I know for me, something I always say is I don't want to be a team leader who feeds my team and my team stays with me because they have to. I want to be a team leader who teaches my team how to hunt and how to fish for themselves, and my team stays with me because they want to. And at the end of the day, they can take care of their family with or without me. And so I think that as team leaders, we have to get very comfortable with knowing that our value add is not going to come in volume or in numbers. It's not in the quantity, it's in the quality, okay? And then if you're an individual agent, I think that I was thinking about it on the way to work today. Individual agents, new team leaders, this is such an awesome place to be because you actually get the chance to really build this the right way from the ground up. So with that said, I think that it's really important to remember that it's really all about relationships. So where you can really find these these ways to get the A leads is to become a resource, become knowledgeable, put yourself out there. I know it's not always easy, but I will give you a really prime example. I'm at the point in my career where I have failed my way forward. I have reached success that is pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing. I'm not too many years off of struggle. And I've told the story before. I remember my power going out one day and I just paused and I thought, and I was like, no, the power's paid. This is just a real life outage. This is an outage. And it was like the most exciting morning because it was just a power outage. It wasn't because I missed the bill or I was, chasing the bills, because my commissions were all coming at the end of the month and my bills were all due at the first of the month. And so I reached a really cool place, and I want to coach and I want to pay it forward. And I am blessed to have some moms that I'm already coaching, and I want to grow that. And it's funny because they talk about being a secret agent. I've been a secret coach. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm ready, willing, and able over here, but I'm not talking and I'm not putting yourself out there. So just like I'm sitting here right now today, so excited and elated to do this video, that's where you need to get in your business. You need to get to the point where you're putting yourself out there and that you're providing value. So come up with a way to put yourself in front of your audience. Put yourself in front of the people that already know you and like you and trust you. Because at the end of the day, I promise you one thing. People really do business with who they like. So you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And if you get comfortable with that and just get out there, you will find the people who you do relate to, and those people will edify you and they will send you business that way. So I would highly suggest getting out there, and I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions here. But I would highly suggest getting out there in some type of forum, plan it. Be consistent. That's another thing. Make sure you're consistent. You guys cannot just pop up on people's radar one time and then disappear. Okay. Another way is go and be passionate. Go where you're passionate, but get engaged. So for me, my area has always been at-risk youth. I have always been, I don't know if I can do it. Does this keep showing? I have always been, I've always been very, very passionate about at-risk youth. So that's where I've always went. I went into coaching at-risk youth. I went into building their programs, and then I built genuine relationships. So maybe yours is pets. Maybe yours is, I don't know, crafting, whatever it is. It can be whatever it is, but get passionate about it. Get in there and build real relationships that way. So instead of amping up your Zillow budgets or amping up your, online cold lead sources, or even social media ads. I'm not against them. And at some point in your business, believe it or not, I do think that it's necessary. I just hit a point that was really, really unique for me. My coach and I were laughing about it because she had coached me for years on getting away from the cold leads, which was kind of scary for me because at least if I had a high volume coming in, I knew I could convert them and I knew my pipeline kept going. And so my team's just slightly creepy there, guys. So, the thing was, then we had finally got pretty much away from cold leads. And I found myself in this really unique situation to where I had 2 new sales team members that were immediate family members that I didn't really have spirits to tap into for them because I had already tapped into their spirits personally because they are so close to me. And so I kind of found myself having to turn that cold lead source up. And it was kind of cool because for a minute, it was really exciting. So we did a few things on social media and it was like it skyrocketed. But you know what? At the end of the day, guys, those were C leads. Those were missing. They weren't highly referred. They didn't do business our way. And you know what? At the end of the day, most of them were not qualified. And so again, it was like I had to practice what I preach. So we turned that around. And now what I'm doing is putting them out there away from me into their own spheres and into their passion. So one is my youngest daughter. And so she's going into like some mom groups. And then one is my mom who's come back into sales. And she's going into, I think, like a sewing and like a seniors group. So it would be, that's what I'm saying, is do it that way. Another way to do it is you guys got to build systems. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Again, it's about defining your success, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. You need to keep relationships. So once somebody trusts you, and maybe you do convert them from Zillow, the way that you're going to get away now. So don't panic if you have a lot of cold leads, but start leveraging those. So the ones you can build relationships, wow them. Make sure the experience is huge. And that way you can convert them to be the people that then refer you to give you the A leads. And eventually you can cut off the source they came from. So I would love, is there any questions on leads? Because rather than just rambling and talking, I'd much rather kind of answer specific questions you guys have, thoughts that you guys have. I really think, I would be more than happy. We can I know Jessica likes to usually put it out to the inner circle, but we could kind of give a list of good, bad, and ugly leads and just kind of that way it can be referenced. But is there any specific questions anybody has? Okay, so good. So the pipeline, you got to remember that you're always going to be. So the question is, how do you kind of if you're cutting off cold leads, how do you build a healthy pipeline? So that's where you might need to keep a cold lead source on. But at the end of the day, it's still volume. But guys, here's what I would say. Ask for the business. Just ask people you already know and in your sphere for the business. People want to help people. And if you just ask, you'd be so shocked. So maybe make it a goal that you've gotten lots of Facebook leads with just your name. Margot, let's see, Margot, how do I show your comment? There we go. Okay, so Margot said, I've gotten lots of Facebook leads with just my name and email. I struggle with getting them to respond to my email. So you mean you get the leads, with just the name. Okay, and then you struggle. So are those leads coming organically, Margot, or are you actually, are you like posting ads or doing some type of engagement to get them to come to you? Giving her a second to answer here. So she hasn't answered yet, but so I completely agree, Margot. Ads in marketplace. So yep, that's exactly. So let me show that. That was exactly something that we went through as well, Margot. So when we did that, trying to generate those leads, I also found, and you may have found this too, not only was it hard to get them to actually respond, but it was hard to get them to understand that we were kind of trying to run a system. So it was like they wanted instant information. And I know that Jessica is awesome because this may be an area you like. Like I said, everybody has a different cup of tea. So you may love doing social media ads. And Jessica has some awesome systems on how to really simplify that process. But if you're like me and you feel like you have to answer every single question, it can get very tiring. And then you'll find out that then when you're actually trying to reach out to them, they're non-responsive. So I think that would come, the non-responsive, Margot, I think would fall under an ugly lead. And so Margot, wouldn't you think that how often, my question would be to you is how often are you actually tapping your genuine relationships on Facebook? So are you actually making it a point to reach out to them and connect with them? Because what if you took, instead of doing that ad on Marketplace, what if maybe you went ahead and made 5 contacts directly? So you actually went in via Messenger and messaged 5 people you're friends with and just had a real conversation with them and said, hey, how are you doing? How are things? And in that conversation, ask for the business and let them know that, you have big goals to meet. Do you think that might be healthier and maybe result in, I think it might take a little bit longer to actually get interest, but I think that you would get the high A leads, which would be such a difference in your time. So I would challenge you, Margot. I would say maybe try that this week. Maybe we should all try that. I'm game. If anybody wants to try that, I think it would be awesome to make sure. I just want to make sure that I'm not supposed to jump off or something here. Make sure Jessica's not telling me I'm running over. Yes, exactly, Margot. So I'm going to show that. So this is so cool. I love that I can see it. Yes. So I would say let's ask for it. And you know what, Margot? I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. It's funny. I have an LO and she's one of my mentors and she's a beast, like a beast. I mean, she does such high volume. I'm pretty sure she's already helped like 300 families this year, maybe more, maybe 500. She's just astronomical. She's one of the best in the nation, I think in the top 10. And it's funny because she calls me probably once to twice a month and she'll say, hey, dude, I need some business. I need business. My numbers are down. And I never really thought about it. But and I kind of didn't take it serious the first couple of times because I know she's crushing it. I know she's killing it. But what I realized is for her numbers are down. So she's asking for that business. And I think that, Margot, we really need to get very comfortable with it. So I'm saying, Margot, let's you and me hold each other accountable. If nothing else, let's each, hit up 5 people in our own organic database or our own Facebook. And let's just talk to them. Let's ask them how they are and ask them if they have any needs or if they know anybody. Let's just ask very directly that we would love to be a value add to them. And to anybody they know, who can we help out? So Joe says, I find it so hard to ask for business with my closer sphere, but I can easily do it with strangers. It feels crazy because you would think the ROI would be better. What do you see? So I'm with you both. I think though so let me give you an example. So as you know, I coach, and I have a mom who I'm coaching, and she's not, this particular mom actually isn't in real estate. And I'm pretty sure I could tell her, you need to pay me, or you need to do this. And I'm pretty sure she would do it because she trusts me, but I'm literally tiptoeing around it. So I'm going to tell you guys, I really think it's us doubting our value. It's just something I'm going through personally. And I think that because we somehow feel like we have nothing to lose with the other people, and we know our value, that we're bolder or we're braver. And then somehow when it comes to our own personal sphere, we start to question our own value. And at the end of the day, I think that this is why we want to make sure that we're focusing on A leads, and we are giving that value, and we're building those systems where maybe once a week we're giving information or content, because then I think we start to shift our spheres thought of us. Because if we're not engaging with them, then maybe they just see us as a friend or a past coworker or neighbor. But if we're putting value out there and we're giving them information, we start adding value in their minds. And I think as we raise the value in their minds and they start seeing us more as a professional and more of a resource, I think, to answer you guys' question, Joe and Margot, it helps us to switch and to not kind of doubt that and to just ask for it. So do you guys think, that would be my question to you, since you both kind of feel that way? Do you think that if maybe you started doing something consistently to be the professional in their eye, that it would help you to feel better about asking that close sphere for the business? I would love to hear your guys' thought on that, because that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now I feel so cool. I can just sit here and wait for the little comments, and let's see. Okay, here we go. So Joe said, constantly working on, yep. Definitely. I am right there with you all the time. And I think we have to. And I think at the end of the day, we have to remember two things: is people like real and they like authentic. At the end of the day, Joe, I can tell you that when people have told me the reasons, perfect. So, I mean, I think that that's part of the thing, is we doubt ourselves. And so I think at the end of the day, we just have to remember, every one of us has a naive point. We have insecurities, we have certain feelings. And I think if we're just vulnerable and we put those out there, people appreciate that more. And if we come from a place of value, I think they appreciate that more. I think everybody, though, I don't know about you guys, I feel like everybody gets a real estate license, or like has a mom or an aunt or a cousin or something. And so I think that's where we really have to also, let's see what Margot, I want to see what Margot said here real quick. Yes, I think we need to remind them of the professional development class. Yes. This is huge. And this is exactly what I was just going to say, Margot. What I was going to say is, at the end of the day, too, I think we need to remember that we're professionals and we need to really invest in ourselves. So I'm not by any means pitching, but like Mega Moms has coaching, and maybe it's finding that one coach, or maybe it's finding that mentor, or it's doing that book, whatever it is that grows you. But I think as a professional, and in real estate, so often how many people know, like, you just wait to get those CEs, those continuing ed, and then you just rush and you get them. Are you really honing your craft? Are you really mastering your craft? Are you learning to have a forethought that protects your client? Are you looking to expand your skill set and be able to add that value? So I think this is where it gets to the huge picture. And this is why earlier I said, we could digress a dozen different ways when we talk about things, because somebody that really masters being the true professional is going to get more confidence. Then they're going to project that into their own personal spheres. They're going to feel better about asking for the business. And then they're going to get more A leads. And thus more A leads is going to give them more of a balance. So this year I'm on track to do 30 million in volume. And I honestly feel like we could blow that out of the water. But I also already have probably 6 vacations. I'm looking at my calendar, but 5 to 6 vacations scheduled. Probably almost every major holiday, I'm taking a 3-day weekend to be with my kids. I don't work except one weekend a month, and that's only on a Saturday. And I don't work evenings. And so the way that I've been getting there, and that I continue to get there, and that we will continue to grow, is just by all of these things. So it's huge. It's a huge, like, it could be so overwhelming, but you just take it one step at a time. So define those good, bad, and ugly leads. And then maybe I would say, you want to work with A leads. You want them to be highly referred. You want them to do business your way, and you want them to be ready and qualified. So the ready and qualified, I can drum up referred and doing business my way, but the ready and qualified comes hard. So what I would say is maybe really sit down and think about what you can do to add value and where you could go. Maybe you could teach, a financial class, or, a home purchasing class or something, but come up with a way that where you could really be adding value to other people. So I think that we've had a really good show, guys. I think it's really been good information. Is there any final questions on leads, defining leads, good leads, bad leads, ugly leads? Anybody have any questions on what an A lead, B lead, or C lead looks like? Anything like that? I would love to answer any questions before we wrap up. And thank you, ladies, all so much for all of the questions today too. I really appreciated it. Cool. Well, it looks like I don't see any coming in. So just know that Jessica and I both come from a place of wanting to add value and pay it forward. It's very important to us. I'm so appreciative to Jessica for building this platform. And just know that, I definitely am excited to, yay! You needed it. Let's see. So Joe said, thank you for the powwow today. Needed it. You're super welcome. Thanks, Jessica. Jessica, just so you know, though, okay, I'm going to share Jessica. Great info. So I'm super excited that I have your seal of approval, but you're supposed to be celebrating your birthday with Cody. So I don't think you're supposed to be watching this. His birthday actually. But anyways, thank you, ladies. Just know we're always here and we come from a place of value, and we definitely want to bring you guys tremendous value. So let us know what topics, what kind of things you would like to discuss, what we can bring that would really help you guys in your business. Okay. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys all have a blessed week. Bye, guys.